NSFM Colville, 1280 KZNS AM Salt Lake City, and KSL FM HD2 Salt Lake City Midvale. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Scott Gerard, the coach, Tim Lacombe, and the man himself, David Locke, play-by-play voice of the Utah Jazz. David, how are you?
LeBron James to the Jazz on the mid-level exception. Would you do it?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely, I would.
No.
You wouldn't do it? He's the best
I would
free agent
not
on the
do it.
market.
Comes with a
42 years old, he's the best free agent on the
little
market.
bit of baggage.
And Bronny's guaranteed, so you know you don't have to bring him in.
Isn't that great? He did it a day after they guaranteed Bronny.
Yeah, I know.
He knows no shame, David.
That is awesome. Walker Kessler sign and trade for LeBron James.
You can't be serious.
I don't know. I'm just playing.
Hey, look, you might want to check his birth certificate. He's pushing El Monte.
I love it, man. David just comes in and just starts
Just
throwing
ready to go.
scorched earth
Just
right out of the
he
gate.
tries to
like,
test
wait
us.
a sec. Just play for a second here. You're just dismissing it. He's still really good.
Oh yeah, no. Look as a mid-level, I would do it.
Nope, you got me at no. I just he does what he does. He may still be able to play, but he ruins the teams he's on, and I don't want that for this group.
All right.
Wow, I actually got David to.
I don't know. It's pretty interesting. I mean, it never happens, so it's just kind of you're having fun with it. But it's a pretty interesting. I think it's just incredible that he's 42 years old. He's the best free agent on the market now. He should be the number one most sought after guy. He's. I mean, you want us to get big? When he's our point guard, would be really big.
Yeah. I can't remember who threw out the idea, but it would be the most LeBron thing of all time, just to sign on his last year to sign 10-day contracts with every team in the NBA. So he has a jersey. Jersey sells in.
He gets a rocking chair from every team.
Or he goes
David,
to Miami.
Who are actual potential MLEs for us, for the Jazz? Have you looked that over?
I don't know what the Walker number is before they figure out the MLE, right? Because the Walker number plus the MLE gets too high, I think. Am I right on that?
Where do you think where do you think Walker comes in? Do you think somebody actually offers him 35?
Well, then I think you have to make a real decision.
Is 35
that Walker 35? Then you're playing a game which is really hard to do right now, which is you're going to end up in financial trouble at some point very soon, and so then you're signing it, but you're going to have to get rid of people to deal with it, and maybe you feel like you'll be able to do that, But I was listening to Nate Duncan and Dunked On podcast, so I'm going to give him credit. And he feels like the Keontae Walker combined number needs to be 60. And if you get to 35 with Walker, you're not getting to 25 with Keontae, I don't think. Now,
no.
Frankly, Keontae's got to play some defense before you're giving him much of anything, frankly. Jeremiah Singelman did a thing today where he literally referred to Keontae as the worst defensive player of a generation. So I think he will, but he's just got to prove it. That's on this whole key extension thing. Yeah, show me you can play defense on a team that's winning games, and then we can discuss, $200 million.
So they're basically doing the same thing as Walker, right? They'll deal with it later.
Yeah, I think you could extend Key now, and you might extend Key now if Key's willing to come in at a number that is below max and kind of agreeing that Key still has a lot of developing to do and you want the money beforehand, but most guys don't do that.
How much does just Walker Kessler at the rim change who you are defensively for this team?
So the two answers on that are, one, sure seems to, right? Teams shoot about 54% when he's at the rim. He's one of the three best rim defenders in the whole league. And then the second answer is that Walker's only been on one of the worst defensive teams every year of his career.
Yeah.
So there's just so many things we don't know yet, right? Like, Walker's individual defensive metrics are all good, but his team's terrible defensively. Should have Walker been – if Walker had been around this last year, and would Walker have been good enough to turn this roster into a 20th ranked defensive team or 15th? Like, is that who he – like, should he have been able to do that? You know, I always feel like if Rudy's just on the team, then Rudy and your top 10 defensive team, no matter what. I don't think Walker's at that level, so we'd have to figure out when – you know, we don't know yet on Walker, frankly, right? Like, I mean, I think he's gotten better in isolation defense. I think he's gotten better the rim defense. He's obviously an elite rebounder. He's gotten better in a lot of categories, but he hasn't played on a team trying to win, and he didn't play last year.
What'd you make of Darren Peterson's press conference? Just the general feel of it and kind of the takeaways from him.
So I'm not a big press conference guy because I just think more mistakes get made in press conferences or because of press conferences. However, with that said, if I was his parents, I would have been super proud to have a 19-year-old in that setting who conducted himself in that manner. Like, he just was so mature and together and, you know, was really, I thought, very, very impressive and humble and all the characteristics you want if you were a parent. Scotty and I were together at watching the press conference. And, you know, I think the other comment that I made to Scotty, like Scotty said to me at one point, wow, he was well trained or well prepared. Well, that if that's true, that's fine, because that then tells you that he can take instruction.
Coachable.
That's actually an important thing. Like, oh, so they trained him, he executed, like, that's great, and his answers were super. Like, he seemed more authentic than that. But even if it was just all really, really well coached, then that's a great sign that he was able to execute the plan.
But ultimately, the biggest question is, what does he think of mountains? Does he like it here? Is he going to like it here?
You and I are on the same page on this. Like, the idea that you're asking a kid who's been in a town for like 6 hours whether he likes it because you're going to get some affirmation on that is so stupid.
Did you notice the smog?
Oh, man.
You know about fire? Like, it's really serious. We're having a major fire problem. You might not want to sign here.
Yeah. Like, do you like fireworks? Because well, never mind. All right. So, David, when you overall assess this team and you assessed the needs of this team, how much value does Nurk at that number help you out next year?
I'm kind of a mixed bag on this one. I'm not actually like just going to give you this Pollyanna. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So Nurk does give you a bunch of things. So he's over the last 5 years, he's the 7th best handoff big in the NBA. 3 years ago, he was actually his handoff season, which I think was either a year in Phoenix or his last year in Portland, is the single best big handoff season in the last 5 years. He's really special at the handoff game, and we run a lot of handoffs. We run a lot of off-ball screens and a lot of handoffs, second most handoffs of anyone in the NBA. So that's really important. He's our best rolling big. Walker, JJ, and Lowry are not good at rolling bigs, so he's actually our best rolling big from an offensive standpoint. We don't have any good rollers. That's kind of almost, it's a little bit of a false compliment. He's one of the worst rim finishers in the NBA, so his individual offensive possessions are really, really, really far below average for a center and offensively can be detrimental in that fashion. And then defensively, he's not a good rim defender, and he's a great rebounder. And he's a fair to mediocre drop big in coverage. He's not, you don't want to bring him out. When, again, to the kind of the point we have every week when we talk, just a lot of those weaknesses we just didn't care about last year. And so what we're asking him to do this next year will be very different. What I think's interesting on this is if Walker comes back and is playing as well as I think he can, my expectation is that Walker's playing 30 minutes a night. My expectation is also that Jaren Jackson is probably playing the last 4 minutes of the game as a center. Like, Tim, I think the closing lineup, unless it just doesn't rebound, is probably Keontae, Darren, Ace, Lowry, Jaren.
Man, that is a tough lineup for sure. But I wonder about the rebounding in that one,
right.
and I'm hoping that that's something Jaren gets better at while he's here.
So I don't know if that group can rebound enough, but if we need to score, that's going to be our 5 guys on the floor.
Right. Yeah, a lot of different ways you can go.
To guard them, all of them.
And there's a mismatch possibly.
Will can do everything. So if I'm right on that, there's only 14 minutes a night for a backup center. Now, I talked to Austin last year about, do you pay backup centers? Because there used to be a book that you didn't pay backup centers because there were just so many of them. And he's like, the market's not flooded like it once was. So now it's just a question of impact. Can you sign a guy for a number that will give you impact? And I would guess that when the year's done, Nurk gives us $11 million of impact. And so it's a good signing. I would have loved to get in for another $1 million or $2 million less, but probably not really possible.
So while we're waiting for the Walker Kessler thing and trying to figure everything else out, there's 2 contracts that go live tonight if they're not waived, and that's Flip and Svi. I assume both those guys will be here. You assume the same?
Flip is the perfect contract. $3 million for your 5th big, who, if any of your 4 primary bigs get injured, he can step into the lineup and play. Flip's
that's big.
Awesome.
Yep.
Flip, value to contrast to game, it might be as good as it gets for Flip. Your centers are Walker and Nurk, and Flip's your 3rd center, and you don't have to pay for it, which is great, which also probably allows you to pay Nurk a little bit. You have Jaren is your 4 with Lowry as your other 4, and if either of those guys are missing, you can play Flip very, very well. It's kind of great.
Miami, July 5th and July 31st. Ice Cube's Big 3 is back at the Amerant Bank Arena, featuring big stars like Dwight Howard, Joe Johnson, Lance Stevenson, and more. And featuring your home team, the Miami 305, led by Michael Beasley. Grab your tickets now at big3.com/tickets or Ticketmaster. Presented by iHeart.
Did you see the Landale signed today?
With who?
A 1-year deal, or not signed, but agreed. Atlanta, 1 year, $14 million.
Wow.
So, I mean, I kind of like.
A lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but I like the Jazz got 2 for 11 each. Seems like, like you say, there's value there. He'll be worth that.
Yeah, the next number up on centers is Landale's right between Okongwu at 18. There's a group of guys that are at 18, and there's a group of guys that are the NBA is between 9 and 11 million.
So
Brooke Lopez. Brooke Lopez. Well, Robert Williams was signed for more, right?
Yeah, he just agreed to something today. I can't remember the number. Hold on.
I didn't see what the number was. But Robert Williams was in that group. So I think that's, backups, generally backup center who used to start in the NBA is $10 million. And so Nurk's 11. Fine.
David Locke, play-by-play voice, Utah Jazz, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Just out of my own curiosity.
What's your Isaac Okoro, DeAnthony Melton? Sorry to interrupt you, Scotty. Isaac Okoro, DeAnthony Melton, Quentin Grimes. We need 24 minutes of wing minutes here. Are any of those guys on your list? And I think it's an interesting thing. I think we need 24 to 30 minutes of wing minutes. There aren't on them. But there's a possibility that Cody or Bryce steps forward and owns those 30 minutes, and you sign this guy and he's worth nothing, which is fine. You sign him and the other guys beat him out, that's fine. I do think it's going to be hard to keep Bryce and Cody, so it might, you got to figure that out.
Just FYI, Williams his AAV is about 14.6 a year.
Okay, and the Nurk number is better than
4-year deal.
Yeah, and he doesn't say how
I'm
many.
sorry,
He
three
is the
year.
number one pick and roll big in the NBA the last 5 years, though.
3 years, $44 million.
Yeah, and I don't, who knows what the third year is. But he is the number one. He is the number one pick and roll defensive big in the NBA the last 5 years.
Last 5 years, huh?
Yeah.
He crazy athletic, that kid.
Yeah.
Keontae George made a big jump last year. We watched it, and it was on and off the court, the things that he kind of addressed. And I watched Ace Bailey just kind of he was almost like a dream last year to have a guy come in and attack that like he did, but also have the humility, read the room. I feel like he's got a big jump in him still. Do you?
Oh, I'm waiting. It might be tomorrow's show. Like, it's on my list of shows to do. We have all forgotten how good Ace Bailey can be.
Correct.
Right? I mean, like, it's as though the Darren Peterson love is great, but like, and I'm all fired up to have Darren Peterson, but like Ace Bailey is got a real, like, I still might put my Ace Bailey train ahead of my Darren Peterson train. Like, both those trains are chugging, but I think, Ace Bailey's pretty special.
Well, I quoted you on the air yesterday based on a conversation we had at the press conference, but everybody may show up for that season opener looking to watch Darren Peterson. We may all watch Ace Bailey score 30 points.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's going to be long into the season before we're in a 2-point game and Will Hardy's calling the play for Ace Bailey.
Ooh. But the beautiful part about it, David, and you've watched enough NBA it's the teams that can do that, though. They can call a timeout and assess it, look out there and say, they got a 6'5" guy guarding Ace. And the Jazz are going to have that all year long because there's teams that just aren't going to be able to match the size. And so the Jazz will, that's one thing Will's great at. He can expose a mismatch with the best of them.
I mean, that closing lineup that I talked about, Jaren's the fifth option.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're going to have to move the ball. We're going to have to do a lot of – I mean, I kind of go both ways. One, I actually think wins are going to be very hard to come by in the league in general because no one's tanking.
Good point.
So, 46 wins might be the fourth seed.
Yeah, you think that everything will get ramped up wins-wise this year.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah. If you go down to the if you go down to the bottom of the win game of last year, right? We have all these 18s and 17s and things like that. I'll have to go look at the standings. Those are all going to be 30. Those wins have to come from somewhere. Brooklyn. Who are the two teams? Milwaukee doesn't have the rights to their own pick, so they'll be in relegation. And there's one other team that's not very good that doesn't have rights to their own pick. So there'll be 2 of the 3 teams in relegation. They won't care if they lose. In fact, they'll win 20 games each. But then everybody else is going to try to stay out of that relegation, and so everyone else can be over 30. There's just a lot of wins that have to come from the top back to the bottom. Portland and Phoenix, I don't think are particularly good. But Phoenix is starting Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, I guess Miles Bridges, and Mark Williams. It's not I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to be a top 10 team. But
that'll be a hard win.
Yeah.
You won't just roll them over, yeah.
And I'm not sure. I think Portland's going to be in the top 10 either, but they're Ja Morant, Damian Lillard, Denny Advida, I guess. I don't know.
Good luck fitting all that together.
They have 73 of them. And Donovan Clingan. Right? That's not a terrible team either.
No.
And now Robert Williams, frankly.
Before I let you go, I remember covering Darren Williams in his first summer league, and he was pretty pedestrian. And then the next year, he showed up for one game, and Kevin O'Connor sent him home and said, we've seen enough. You're good. Just get out of here. What do you want to see? What do you need to see from Ace Bailey in these games here in Salt Lake City?
So that's the Bryce Sensabaugh last year, right?
Yeah.
I would like to see Ace Bailey actually play point guard. I don't think they'll do it. But I would like to see Ace Bailey handle the ball an awful lot. I want to see.
That's the next step for him, right? Like to be able to get that thing tight.
Good, so I want to see him try to do it.
Peterson, on the other hand,
doesn't have very big hands, by the way, so it's not the easiest thing for him to do.
You know that line you say, because I hear you every night. You say he goes right and forgets the basketball. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, right.
Darren won't. Yeah. Darren won't do that. Darren won't lose it much.
No,
he's got a pretty good handle, man.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how many times I'm assuming that Darren needs to play 2 of the 3, if not all 3 games in Salt Lake, but probably 2 of the 3 because he's got to play the first one in Vegas, and then I don't know what you do after that. That's Cooper Flagg did that and then shut it down, right?
Yeah.
Be here before we turn around, man.
Let's
it's
go.
Exciting.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a long time. It's gonna take a long time to get to October.
Hey, don't wish this away. It's the summer of us.
Yes, we'll get there. We'll get there. Thank you, David.
Us. I've coined it that because just look at the trajectory of our sports teams. You know, we in the fall we have waiting for us Utah, BYU, Utah State football. We have the Jazz back on the runway, ready to take off. We've got the Mammoth, who won the playoffs last year, just made a couple moves. Like, things are ramping up for a hell of a sports season. So this is the summer of us.
I know that Utah is certainly going to be interesting. Are any of the football teams going to be good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think BYU, especially since Texas Tech Sorsby themselves to death, I think BYU has a chance to win the Big 12.
And I think Utah will be way better. I mean, people just don't know what to expect because it's Morgan.
Yeah.
They'll be fine.
Yeah. It'll be a good year for sure.
You're almost always fine the first year after the legend leaves. It's the second year where the issues start. If there's a problem. Isn't that Gary Croton to Lavelle?
Yep. That's Gary Croton. That was even Ty Detmer as an offensive coordinator. It was the second year that started to get him. Like, you can overcome some stuff with that first year. You're spot on that. Second year is where you run into trouble.
Really true is the history of Major League Baseball. If you go back and look at all the legendary Earl Weavers and like Joe Altobelli wins the World Series with the Orioles the next year, and like Chuck Tan, like all the long time baseball managers, they're all fine for a year, and then the culture goes away after a year, and then the teams fall apart.
Chuck Tanner. That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
You heard Joe Altobelli, though?
Oh, yeah. I'm a baseball guy.
Okay. No, you heard that recently?
Joe Garagiola.
There we go. Nice.
That was my Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the highlight guy right there.
Yeah.
Well.
All right. Thank you, David.
See ya.
There he is, David Locke, play-by-play voice of the Utah Jazz. And I didn't even throw Lloyd under the bus.
Miami, July 5th and July 31st. Ice Cube's Big 3 is back at the Amerant Bank Arena, featuring big stars like Dwight Howard, Joe Johnson, Lance Stevenson, and more. And featuring your home team, the Miami 305, led by Michael Beasley. Grab your tickets now at big3.com/tickets or Ticketmaster. Presented by iHeart.